Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special ATP Hour program as we start celebrating the World Breastfeeding Week 2024. As you can see from my background. So, welcome everyone to ATP Hour. And I just realized I didn't play our intro music. Not to worry. I'm just going to do that, and then uh, while doing that, I'll be sharing the links to all the various groups so that everybody can see and everybody can hear me. And this is a real live session.
Are you a mother, father, or you are involved in caring for children? If yes, then listen to Ask the Pediatricians every Thursday by 10 a.m. for insightful discussion on popular child health topics such as dangerous child health practices, immunization, infant feeding, developmental milestones, and so much more. You also get to ask questions on these topics and listen to answers to real-life child health issues by a pediatrician. Ask the Pediatricians Foundation is devoted to health education and information of parents and caregivers of children in the community to support you in raising healthy children. Don't miss Ask the Pediatricians with Dr. Gani because it's informative, educative, and interactive. Ask the Pediatricians Hour, the program for caring parents. Are you a mother, father?
All right, so you're welcome to ATP Hour. This is a live one, not a pre-recorded session. So feel free to drop comments, feel free to ask questions, and I'm going to also respond to them. And this one is a particularly special one because we are talking about breastfeeding. It is a World Breastfeeding Week. Okay, let me first try to say Happy New Month. This is a new month of August. And but for us, whenever we start a new month in August, what really helps us, what really stands out about August is that is the month where we celebrate the World Breastfeeding Week. So the 1st to the 7th of August every year globally is devoted to celebrating promoting breastfeeding. So, and for an organization like us, where we always there supporting and promoting breastfeeding. So this is a good one for us. And today being Thursday, where we normally do our ATP hour. I'm happy to be here and to talk to you and remind us what we all know, and maybe those who don't know about breastfeeding again. So help me, do me a favor, share the link, share the videos with your friends, with your family, everybody that needs to know about this program because this is for all of us. And in line with this year's program, we're talking about closing the gap. That is the theme for this year's World Breastfeeding Week. We're talking about closing the gap and providing breastfeeding support. I mean, that is really amazing because that is what we do, really providing breastfeeding support. We've been doing that for a long time, and we continue to do that. And this is also very important to me because I found that many women actually want to breastfeed, but unfortunately, people sometimes around them are the hindrance. And if there's anything I want people listening to me to do today is that don't be an hindrance to breastfeeding. And I'm going to tell you why. Rather, you should be a support. And I want you to all invite the grandparents, the grandmothers, because they are my number one focus this morning because they are actually the ones that come to help us when we have our new babies. And I found out that they are also one of the most difficult when it comes to people doing exclusive breastfeeding because for certain reasons, which I may go into later, but I really want them to come and listen to me. But one thing I know about grandparents is that they always want the best for their grandchildren. So I really want to convince them today on why it's so important for them to support the new mothers, in breastfeeding. And I'm somebody who is also passionate about first time mothers. I've written made a lot of products and resources for first time mothers, so because they need to get it right with the first baby and it to be easier with subsequent babies. So again, help me to call all the first time mothers to come and listen as well. So because we really need to be talking about breastfeeding, and since it's the breastfeeding week, so I have permission to talk about breastfeeding. Before, when I talk about breastfeeding, some people have tried to always make me feel guilty. Some people even send us posts online, and you won't believe what people send in inbox as well. And they try to make it seem like, why are you making us feel guilty for not exclusively breastfeeding? That's not the focus. The focus is not to make anybody feel guilty, whether you breastfeed or not. The focus is to help you to understand why it's so important for you to breastfeed your babies, and so that we can all be partners together. So let's invite everybody that needs to be here to be here. And if you have any questions for me about breastfeeding, feel free to put it in the comment section. So as I'm talking, I will also be addressing the comments. I'll be addressing the questions that people may have about breastfeeding. So, welcome everybody, whether you're watching me on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Listen on Fresh Waves Radio, how Fresh Waves Radio people are here. Whichever platform you're listening on, I want to specially welcome you to the new month of August. I want to specially welcome you to the new week, and I want to especially welcome you to this day, and especially to this week, where we're going to be celebrating breastfeeding and promoting it. We call it World Breastfeeding Week. So welcome everyone. I've also tried to make sure I've shared the videos so that everybody can see me and they can hear me. I hope so. So please also do the same. We need everybody in Nigeria. If possible, I need the president of Nigeria to also be listening to this program, because we actually have a petition ongoing, and because it's also part of our trying to support mothers, breastfeeding, because apart from the people around mothers disturbing them and not helping them to breastfeed, another challenge mothers have faced is the fact that they want to breastfeed, but they have to go back to work. And I can't blame anybody. The economy is not really smiling in Nigeria, especially. And so lots of mothers have to work, so they have to go to work. And so even some mothers who start with breastfeeding, exclusive breastfeeding, then at some point they have to go back to work. And I've seen mothers go back to work as early as 6 weeks. I've seen mothers going back to work as 3 months. And when they go back to work, some people work so far away, jumping buses and all that. So it's so hard for them to keep up with with expressing breast milk and all that. So that is always another challenge with mothers doing exclusive breastfeeding. And we are actually petitioning the federal government of Nigeria, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to say mothers should be given 6 months maternity leave, minimum 6 months, so that they can do exclusive breastfeeding. And they should be paid when they are, because some people say, okay, we will give you the leave, but we won't pay you because you're not working. But you need to remember that every mother who is breastfeeding, as I'm going to talk to us later on, they are doing it not only for them, for their baby, they are doing it actually for the whole country. They are doing it for all of us, because we're talking about our babies surviving. So it's so important for us to get this breastfeeding. And it is not just only the mothers that is involved, it is all of us, including those who are not breastfeeding currently, including the federal government, including the president. All of us have to make sure we support our mothers. And that is the essence of this year's theme. We have to make sure we provide support for mothers to exclusively breastfeed their babies. Anyway, I think I've started from the back. I'm going to now start from the beginning. So let's talk about breastfeeding. I mean, all of us know what breastfeeding is. It's as simple as what it means is to give babies milk from their mother's breast as a way of feeding them, especially in the first few months of life. That is just breastfeeding. But what we really want to talk about is what we call exclusive breastfeeding. Luckily for us in Africa, most of us are familiar with the concept of breastfeeding. And though some of us are beginning to now, due to the globalization, and everybody knows what is going on in America, in UK, and we are beginning to know what is going on in other parts of the world. And we notice that in other parts of the some people don't breastfeed at all. They don't even do it at all. And because of that, thank you, Jennifer, for joining me. Thank you so much. I keep saying still. If you have questions question, comment, please drop it. We noticed that a lot of us are now beginning to become westernized, if I may put it that way. And one of the things we are beginning to throw away is that culture of breastfeeding, because some people that say, I want to maintain my shape, I want to maintain my breast and all that. And so a lot of mothers, even in our African culture, we are beginning to drop breastfeeding, and some still breastfeed, but we don't do it exclusively. We give formulas. And some I've seen people who told me their husband bought them like a whole pack of these baby formulas and told them not to breastfeed. I mean, and they think they are really helping them, or they are trying to keep their wife figure, which is actually not the best for their babies, which I will go into. So we want mothers to give the baby's breast milk as the best way to feed the baby for the first 6 months of life. And this is not a message for Nigerian, because I've seen a lot of mothers who think when we talk about breastfeeding, it is only for people who are poor, people who don't have money uh, to um, uh, to to buy formula and all that. Just on Instagram, I hope you can see me, because I can't see my video showing on Instagram. Okay, so people think it's about that, but it is not. It is not because you don't have money. It's not for the poor, it's not for the illiterate, it's not for the third world. This message I'm going to share with you today is a message for everybody, including those outside the country, including those in UK, in US, everywhere. So breastfeeding is for everybody. So it is not just only for those of us that are in underdeveloped countries or things like that. No, it is for all of us. So we really need to. Okay, yeah, I think people can see me now. So we really need to understand that it is, when we talk about breastfeeding, it is not just for the poor, it is not just for people who are living in underdeveloped countries. It is for all of us. This is a message from the World Health Organization. This is a message sanctioned by all the professional bodies of pediatricians, so including the American Academy of Pediatrics, including the NHS in the UK, including the Pediatric Association of Nigeria. All of us professionals who work with children, we all agree that the best way to feed the babies for the first 6 months of life is by exclusive breastfeeding. So I want us to know that when we talk about breastfeeding, we're not talking something that is only for the illiterate mothers. It is not for the professional mothers. I'm a professional, I'm a pediatrician, I breastfeed my babies exclusively as well. So and I know a lot of mothers like that, lawyers, doctors, all of us doing exclusive breastfeeding. So it is not only for the market women or anybody, that is for all women to breastfeed their babies. So the World Health Organization, including the Americans and the UK and the Western world that we think we are copying, the message from all of us, all the professionals in those countries, is that mothers should give the best way to feed their babies for the first 6 months of life is to give them breast milk only, and it is recommended that baby should be exclusive breastfed for the first 6 months of life for optimal growth, development, and health. All other creatures that God made, we don't see the dog or the cow coming to us as humans asking for our own milk to feed their babies. They don't. They give their baby their own milk. So we ourselves, as the crown of God's creation, there's no reason why we should use the milk from animals to feed our own babies when we have our own milk. So the best way to feed our baby for the first 6 months of life is by giving them breast milk. And the question is, why are we so particular about breastfeeding? Why do we want our babies to be breastfed? Because for us in pediatrics, and for when it comes to children, their nutrition, the way they are fed, is so important for their well-being. And when we talk about nutrition, we need to make sure that children have the right nutrition, so that when they are exposed to germs, to infections, they are able to fight it. based on the own immune system. And one thing that is crucial to children building up good immunity is their nutrition. And when it comes to nutrition, for the babies, for the first 6 months of life, the best way to feed them is breast milk, because breast milk is more than just food. Breast milk is also about protecting our babies, which is the difference, in fact, one of the major difference between breastfeeding and formula feeding or mixed feeding. Because when you're giving your baby breast milk, you are not just only giving your baby food for growth, which we can also achieve by giving formula. But in addition to what we're giving our babies as food, we're also giving so much more in breast milk. So breast milk contains other things. It has the food part, which is the milk, the fats, which will help our babies to grow. But there are lots of other things in breast milk, like what we call antibodies. These are immune protective factors. These are agents that protect us from infection. So when we're exposed to germs, the way we fight it is our bodies produce all these antibodies, and the antibodies will fight against this germ, bacteria, virus, whatever, and then we are not sick. So but babies, when they are born, they don't have much of these immune factors yet. They have not been exposed to germs, so they've not produced any of those antibodies and all that. But you, their mothers, you've fought a lot already, so you have a lot of these antibodies in your body that you can use to fight against infection. So when you give your baby breast milk, you are not only passing food to your baby, you are also passing those protective factors to your baby. So when your baby is exposed to germs, your baby is able to fight them, not by their own power, but because of what you pass to them through breast milk. So that is why breastfeeding is very important. Babies that are exclusive breastfed, they are protected from things like diarrhea, things like pneumonia, things, all those common infections. And these infections are things that can kill babies, because newborn babies, they are still very fragile, and all that. So we need to protect them, especially that first milk, that colostrum. Please, it is so important that we give to our babies. It is not sour milk. It is not something we should throw away. It is something that babies have to take. In fact, that is your baby's first immunization. That is the baby's first immunization. It is loaded with lots of antibodies, lots of immune protective agents, cells, and so much more. So that breast milk that is produced in the first few days of life must not be thrown away, because some mothers throw it away because they think it's not looking white, it's sour and all that. No, it is not sour. It is not supposed to look white. Sometimes it's transparent, or it looks a little bit yellowish. We call it colostrum. It is gold. It is gold. It is something that you must make sure that you give to your babies, and you give it to them, and you continue to breastfeed. And when we give our baby breast milk, there's no need to give them anything else, because a lot of our mothers actually breastfeed, but we don't breastfeed exclusively. So we give breast milk and we give water. We give breast milk and we give formula. We give breast milk, we give glucose water. No, that is not exclusive breastfeeding. And a lot of mothers actually miss it up, because I see a lot of questions on ATP, and mothers tell me, I'm exclusive breastfeeding, but I do this. And I'm like, oh, you are not exclusive breastfeeding if you're giving water. If you're not exclusive. So exclusive breastfeeding is not just breastfeeding. Exclusive breastfeeding means you are giving breast milk only. No water, no glucose, no formula, nothing. Just breast milk only. And a lot of our grandmothers, and which is why I say you should call them to listen to me today, struggle with that part, because they feel like, who is eating and not drinking water? Because for them, the breast milk is the food, and then there's supposed to be water. No, so the breast milk, in God's wisdom, is actually a combination of both the food and the water already packaged together. So there's no need for you to give anything extra. It is just one complete package of everything the baby needs: the food, the water. Because I always tell grandparents, like, if they are worried about that, I tell them, just leave the breast milk standing, express it in maybe in a bottle or a clear cup or something, and leave it standing for 24 hours. You'll find out that it will separate. So you will see the water part of it is over 70% of that breast milk is actually water. And then the lower part is the milk residue. So you will notice that there's already more than enough water in the breast milk. So there's no need to add our own water. And the water from breast milk, the breast milk itself is sterile. It is free from germs, which is a challenge we have with you giving other water. It's not, apart from the fact that it's going to dilute the milk, fill the baby's stomach. Water is 0 calories. So when you give baby water and you give them breast milk, the amount of space for the milk to fill is reduced. And that means the baby is going to get less of the calories, and then the baby is not going to gain weight properly. So please, no mixing water with breastfeeding, just breastfeeding only. And apart from that, some of the water some of us give, they are very dangerous, most of our water, some of them are contaminated. So in other words, apart from giving water that would dilute the milk and make the child to be prone to malnutrition, giving water that's already contaminated with germs, we're now the one introducing germs to our babies. So these babies start having diarrhea, they start getting sick. All that is completely avoidable. And you don't need to stress yourself to produce breast milk. It is always there. It is always available at the right temperature, at the right everything. You don't have to use a warmer. So if you're a breastfeeding mom, you walk around just with your baby. You don't need nothing else, because everything you need is in you already. Your breast, and your baby can get it anytime, anywhere. And the one thing again is that your breast milk is actually customized for your baby. The breast milk I produce is going to be different from the breast milk of my sister or my friend, because all my own experience is packaged into my breast milk. And even for you yourself, your baby, if you have a preterm baby, or your baby is a baby born at full term, the kind of breast milk you produce is also different. Because so unlike formula that is the same milk for everybody, whether you live in UK or you live in US or you live in Canada or you live in Nigeria, it is the same formula they will sell to all of you. Although some of these companies will produce something more superior for those abroad and produce something inferior for those of you in the Nigeria. Anyway, that's not the point for today. But if they sell something in Nigeria, it's going to be the same thing for all the babies in Nigeria. Whereas for a mother, each mother's breast milk is uniquely um for her baby, is uniquely produced for her baby, because it's based on her own body experience, everything. And also, if your baby is even a preterm baby or a full-term baby, the breast milk you produce is also different. So, and it will change from time to time. So that is why breast milk is the most customized food in the world, and it is produced right at the point of, when you're giving the baby. There's no need for any middleman. There's no need for other contamination. It's sterile, and it is loaded with not just food. It is also loaded with antibodies, immune agents, things that will protect your babies, and also protect your baby from even allergies. Some of our babies are allergic to this formula that we give our babies. So people start coming, oh, my baby is having rashes, is having this. Sometimes it is from the formula, because you are giving your babies protein from another animal, from a cow, not from your home body. So the chances of your baby reacting to that is high. Though, of course, technology these days now, they are beginning to make special kind of formula to take care of that. But you see, we have to go extra mile to take care of that. Whereas if you are just your own milk given to your baby, we are not worried about all those allergies. So some babies have what we call cow milk protein allergy, but babies on exclusive breastfeeding don't have that problem at all, because their mother's milk is not going to be something allergic to them. So most babies can be exclusively breastfed. And so that is what we recommend. And of course, I know some of you are going to come and tell me, oh, what about, of course, we know we have scenarios. That is why we still have these companies. I'm not saying companies that make formulas are evil or bad. We still need them, because there are certain instances where we need them. For example, in Africa, we still have a lot of maternal deaths. I was talking about our mothers are dying at birth. So definitely we need to feed those babies. So we would, and these days with HIV, hepatitis and all that, before we actually just do what we call a milk bank. So mothers that are producing breast milk, they produce a milk, we store it, and we give it to babies that don't have mothers to give them milk. But these days, because of HIV and all that, we are being careful. So those babies are definitely going to need formula. Once in a while, very rarely, we have babies that have some serious metabolic condition that they can't take milk at all, any milk. It's not even just their mother's milk, or so they have to go on a kind of a specialized milk because of that medical condition, because they won't be able to digest it, or they don't have the enzyme to deal with it and all that. So those are the scenarios where we need formula. But otherwise, majority of us, 99.9% of us don't fall into that category. Most of us can breastfeed our babies, and we are, most of us do actually, but we don't do it exclusively. So if there's any message I want to pass across to us today, is that breast milk is the best way to feed our babies, but we should do it exclusively for the first 6 months. Breast milk only, no water, no formula, nothing else. And for my nurses, for our midwives, those of us that have our babies at the first time when the babies are born, please let's support mothers to start breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is not just it doesn't come natural. If not, we won't be having this conversation about breastfeeding support for mothers. Breastfeeding doesn't come natural because it's a lot of work, and for the new mothers, they need to learn to do it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what are the ways by which we can support mothers to breastfeed their babies well. So this, and I want the mothers to also know, because it's important for you to know what is right. It will surprise you how much of what we do as health professional is wrong. When I had my last baby, I had my baby in a private hospital. My first two babies, I had them in a government hospital. So obviously, in a government hospital, teaching hospital, where people know what to do and all that. But it was surprising. I'm a pediatrician, and I had my baby in a private hospital, and they didn't want to give me my baby. I'm telling you, they just quickly took the baby somewhere, and they were, I know most of the nurses or midwives, they meant well, but I think we allow some of this our bureaucracy and all that to get in the way of what is really, really important. And I told them, get me my baby. I need to have my baby because I know that I need to start breastfeeding my baby within the first hour. That first hour is so crucial. That is when the milk letdown happens. That is when we should initiate breastfeeding. So all this attitude of keeping the baby in the nursery away from the mother is not helpful. So my dear nurses and midwives, please, when babies are born, give the babies to their mothers. Put them, you don't need all this bathing baby, putting clothes on them. It's not necessary. That is not a necessary thing. The most important thing for that baby will keep warm just lying on the mother's chest without anything else. And that baby can start to breastfeed within seconds or after birth. If those of you are on our Facebook group, if you go to our guide session, you'll see the breastfeeding videos. You will see this mother who just put the baby, and you just put the baby on the chest. That baby is able to find the breast on their own, and that baby is able to latch onto the breast on their own, and they're able to start breastfeeding on their own. That is how spontaneous and how natural God made breastfeeding for mothers to be. So let's make sure that we always put the baby straight to the breast, and they should start breastfeeding within the first hour. That first hour is so crucial. There should be no separation. In the 80s, we have what we call the baby friendly hospital initiatives. I think it is time to bring it back. Even government hospitals, private hospitals, we all signed up to be baby friendly. We want mothers to breastfeed their babies. So we practice what we call rooming in. Babies and their mother should be in the same room. Mothers should be given the option to breastfeed their babies. Mothers should be supported to breastfeed their babies. Some mothers don't know how to attach their baby to the breast. We need to support you. That is why we are here. Your pediatrician, your nurses, your midwives, our grandparents, our fathers, all of us, we should support the mothers to start breastfeeding. Nobody should go and buy formula. Nobody should go and start saying, let's just give glucose water. And the grandparents, I know sometimes because we are kind of, everybody wants the baby. Of course, baby is the price, is a great guest in the house right now. So everybody wants a choice. And there's only one person that can breastfeed the baby. Only the mother can. Nobody else can do that. There's nothing else any other person cannot do for the babies. Other people can bath the baby, other people can carry the baby, other people can do other things. But there's only one thing only one person can do, and that is breastfeed babies. And I found out that sometimes some of our grandparents, maybe they are jealous of that. They want to have the baby with them, and they realize that, oh, but the mother has to breastfeed. So sometimes they will just say, let's just go and buy formula, let's go and do this, let's go and do that, because so that they can also do that for the baby. No, please. We need to let the mothers rest, do everything else for the mother, but please let her have her baby to breastfeed. Give the baby to the mother to breastfeed. And if the mother is struggling with breastfeeding, let's not start to discourage her and start by saying, oh, maybe you can't do it. Maybe you don't, the baby is hungry. Don't put pressure on the moms, because breastfeeding is also it's not just a physical thing, it's also a psychological thing. And when mothers tell me I'm struggling with breastfeeding, I always tell them rest, relax, rest, relax. And a lot of mothers will think I'm just trying to be nice to them, I tell them to relax. No, it's not just about being nice to you, which is part of it, but I need you to relax for you to produce breast milk. I need your brain to be in a good place for you to produce breast milk. If you are stressed, what you produce is what we call stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. Those hormones are anti-breastfeeding production. So breastfeeding is something you do from your brain, not from the breast. I need a lot of mothers to understand that. You are not breastfeeding from your breast, you are breastfeeding from your brain, because the production of breast milk has to do with hormones that are produced in the brain. So if you are stressed, the brain will stop producing those hormones. The brain will divert it to what we call the stress hormones. And those stress hormones, they are anti-breastfeeding. So you're not going to produce breast milk. Well, if you are relaxed, you have your baby in front of you, just thinking of your baby. Just that's why you are in the market, your baby is crying at home, you start lactating, because it is you and your baby, you are one unit, it's a diet. So the way once your baby is start smiling, queen, and all that, it stimulate those hormones production, the prolactin, the oxytocin, and all that are involved in breast milk production. So it is so important for us to relax, and which is why all of us coming to visit the new mom, you should support her, you should praise her. When she's breastfeeding, you tell her. That is why we celebrate breastfeeding week. That is why we celebrate breastfeeding month. In our Facebook group, we don't like, because we are so busy, we don't have time for it's my birthday, it's my this, it's my that. No, but one thing we celebrate is when you tell us to breastfeed your baby exclusively, we are going to celebrate that. Because why? We want to encourage a lot of mothers to breastfeed, because we know that it is not an easy thing for a mother to breastfeed. I understand that, but we are here to tell you that you can do it. And I always tell mothers, if you say you can do it, you will do it. If you think you can't do it, you won't be able to do it, because there's nobody that's going to force the hormones to. So once you already made up your mind that I can breastfeed, you will not be able to breastfeed, because your mindset, your hormones, and all that, they are going to condition to you can breastfeed. But if you start thinking about it like I can breastfeed, I can do it. I've seen mothers breastfeed their twins. We support them on ATP to do that. And a lot of people think it's impossible, but I'm always happy when they come back and say, I thought it's impossible. I thought it was going to be so hard. But with all your encouragement, that statement makes me happy all the time. But because of your encouragement on this group, I was able to do it. So it is not just our own encouragement, it's also our own determination. So this is a mother who is determined, and this is being a setting that is supportive, a setting that tells her you can do it. We're sharing you. What are the challenges? Is it the latching of the baby to the breast? Is it the breast milk not being coming? How do we do that? Let's focus on providing the solution. Let's not focus on running after the alternatives, because most times what we think is easier is actually not that easy. A lot of mothers think, oh, formula feeding is easy. I tell you, breastfeeding is easier. Okay, not even talk of the economy. Let's not even, because we talk of the economy now. Most of you, how much are you selling your baby formula now? And most of these formula, the babies, if you're going to give your baby formula only, most of them are going to take one can, maybe in 3 days. If you are giving it more than 3-4 days, you are not giving it properly. That means you are stretching it, and you are going to put that baby at risk of malnutrition. And all the other problems that we talk about, the contamination of the water, the bottle itself being contaminated, the teeth being contaminated, babies are exposed to germs, the allergy to the cow milk protein and all that, those ones are there. So you are spending your money, but you're also spending your money to create more problems for the baby. And then you're going to become a pediatrician's customer, because when babies are sick, you're going to come to us, and we're going to charge you for consultation, we're going to charge you for buying drugs and all that. So in the long run, it looks like it's an easy option, but when you now start having to come to the hospital, you start having to deal with this, the economy of it, You actually find out that it's easier and cheaper for you to actually have breastfeed your baby. Most of the mothers will tell me the baby not sick one day, as long as they don't even remember that, and they just know that they're just feeding the baby is just going bigger. They only come to hospital for immunization. That is what we want. I always tell mothers that we pediatricians, we are one of those people, professionals, that we're not looking for customer. We have enough work to do, so we don't want our babies to be sick. So we have enough work, measuring weights, giving immunization, doing protective stuff. So we don't need babies to be sick for us to do our job. There are still enough work for us to do. So we want our babies to be healthy and we don't want them to die. And so breastfeeding babies keep them you know, healthy, protect them from germs, protect them from infection. But do you know that breastfeeding is not just only for the babies? There are lots of benefit for you as the mother, for our mothers when they breastfeed. Mothers who exclusively breastfeed their babies are protected against breast cancer. So even if you're not going to breastfeed for the baby's sake, at least breastfeed for your own sake. I'm telling you the truth. Babies, when you breastfeed exclusively, you're protected from breast cancer, you're protected from ovarian cancer, you're protected from uterine cancers. These are protective factors. And also when we talk about mothers who always want to go back into shape, after having a baby, breastfeeding is also very helpful for that. It helps you to get back into shape quicker. Because each time you breastfeed, that's why some of you when you breastfeed, you feel this pain in your tummy. It is the oxytocin. It is contracting your womb. So as you are breastfeeding, it contracts the womb. So that womb is going back faster into shape compared to somebody who is not breastfeeding. And another excuse people give is that, oh, I have cesarean section. It's not a reason not to breastfeed your babies. Okay, you can put your baby to the breast whether you have cesarean section or not. Because most of the time these days we do our cesarean section with you awake. We just give you something in the back so that you yourself will be awake. So there's no problem. You can carry your baby, you can breastfeed even with cesarean section within 1 hour. I think it's our health professionals. We need to help mothers know they can do it. But I find that most of us, we are so used to our own procedure. We want to just clean everything. We want to write all the reports. So we don't give the time. If there's any challenge I'm throwing out this year, this World Breastfeeding Week, is for us to be more intentional with encouraging our mothers, supporting them. And I'm especially directing to our nurses, because you are always the one with the mothers after they've had their babies. Please, let's encourage them. Let's not be the ones to discourage them. Some of us already have formulas in our hospitals because we just want to do our job and make it fast and go away. No. Think of the long-term benefit for the baby. Because some of these mothers to tell me, because I was having cesarean section and I couldn't breastfeed my baby for the first 2, 3, 4 hours, even days, they started giving my baby formula. Then the mothers now struggle, because sometimes babies develop what we call nipple confusion. So the babies are used to the formula, to the bottle. They don't want to even suck on their mother's breast. So and this mother really now are ready to breastfeed, but the baby is now confused and think, oh, formula is, or the bottle is easier rather than the mother's milk, which is why we really need to make sure we support our mothers to get it right. So today's message is for everybody, for all of us. And apart from the mothers who are protected against cancers, the babies are also protected against long-term illnesses like obesity, hypertension. They found that babies that are exclusive breastfed in their own adults, they are less likely to have obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and all those kind of metabolic disorders. Unlike babies that are formula fed, they are more prone to all those conditions. So you are not just only protecting your baby now from dying, but you're also securing their future as adults. So that is enough reason for us to think about breastfeeding our babies, okay? And also we found out that babies who are exclusive breastfed have higher intelligence. Yeah, I mean that is not like absolute. I'm not saying that babies that are not exclusive breastfed may also not be intelligent, but overall, when they do research, they find that they have higher points in terms of their IQ compared to babies who are from the fed. This is research. This is science. So overall, there are many, many, many reasons why we should breastfeed our babies. Exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, and we keep breastfeeding even when we start complementary feeding at 6 months. We keep breastfeeding and up to 2 years and beyond, and we can see all these benefits for the babies and also for the mothers and even for the family, because the further now you don't have to shell out so much money for buying formula, all right? And even for the country as well, because exclusive breastfeeding protects our children under the age of 5. If you have listened to me several times, you've seen me talk about the statistics, and I think I did that about last week or 2 weeks ago when we are doing our ATP ninth anniversary. A lot of our children are still dying under the age of 5. Millions of children, almost 5 million every year globally. But do you know that just us practicing exclusive breastfeeding will reduce the number of those deaths by 800,000? Almost a million children will be saved just by one simple thing that doesn't cost us anything. Exclusive breastfeeding. Just us exclusive breastfeeding our babies will protect our children from dying. So that is why someone like me, because I'm particular about the deaths of, I don't want our children to die. We in ATP, we want our children to live. We want our children not to die from things that are preventable. So definitely we are going to be up for anything that can help us achieve that. And one of the choice of our strategies is exclusive breastfeeding. Breastfeeding alone will keep 820,000 children under the age of 5 alive. And so that is why it's so important for us to do that. And that's why it's so important for us to support our mothers. So as a country, where currently we have the very unenviable statistics of having the highest number of deaths of children under the age of 5. It's not something to be proud of. That in Nigeria, we are the number one when we talk about the total number of children under the age of 5 dying. It is not something good. So we should be embracing anything we can do to reduce those deaths of our children. And I promise you that if we all work together, support our mothers to exclusive breastfeed our babies, then we will be able to achieve that. All right, I have one. Is it a question or a comment? Okay, okay, I think it's a question. Shinaye Lillian Haze is saying, I want to really understand the belief that if your mother is away from her baby at home and her breast starts rushing, it means the baby is crying. Is it true or a myth? It is for me, I would say it is true. It does not necessarily mean the baby is crying. Number one, it means the baby is ready to feed. Of course. And when baby is ready to feed, because your breast milk operates on what we call demand and supply. So if you have fed your baby maybe 3 hours ago, when it's almost 3 hours, baby is ready to feed again. And so if you are not home, of course, your milk too will be like, we are full, we want you to give another food, and the baby too is hungry at home, so the baby too will cry. So it's not like anything supernatural or it is just logical. I think it makes sense if I can put it that way. So, and then also, even you just thinking about your baby alone, like I said, there are also hormones involved. So when you think about your baby, your body produces hormones, and those hormones will produce more breast milk, which is why you should always stay with your baby, which is why we want mothers to be at home for that first 6 months. Because I know a lot of you, with all that I've said now, you are so sold out and you want to breastfeed your babies. And I know, but the challenge most of us have is this work. And a lot of mothers think, doesn't mean I want to breastfeed my baby, but I have to go to work. And my work, they don't allow me to bring babies. Now, which brings me to the work, our employers of labor, because we are all going to be part of this support for mothers to breastfeed. It's not enough for people like me to shout and tell all the scientific reasons why mothers should breastfeed their babies. And the mothers, they know it, they agree, and most of them actually like it. But there are things that make it difficult. And supporting our mothers is for all of us. Like I said, even right from the president of Nigeria down to all the employers of labors, we all have this responsibility. And we are already saying that mothers should be given 6 months maternity leave. We are asking for it. 6 months. We've been on this campaign now for 2-3 years. It's almost 50,000 signatures on change.org. If you have not signed it, please go sign our change.org petition for mothers to be given 6 months maternity leave. And I want to appreciate those who are already doing that. Lagos State government, thank you so much. In Lagos State, if you have a baby, I think the first 2 or 3 babies, you'll be given 6 months maternity leave. Ekiti State, also doing it. Thank you. Kaduna State's already doing it. Somebody told me in Abuja recently that she also got 6 months maternity leave. So I think maybe FCT is also now doing it. Um, there are a few organizations as well. Somebody told me Nestle, if you have a baby in Nestle, they give you 6 months maternity leave. Standard Chartered Bank. Also, I think there are even a few law firms. These are private law firms, and they still give their the staff 6 month maternity. I appreciate those of you who are already doing it and supporting our mothers, because when the mother is at home for 6 months, I mean, she will breastfeed now. She doesn't have to worry. She just stay at home and breastfeed her babies. But if she has to go to work, she's jumping and BRT and all that, she won't remember. I mean, it's so hard. And then we don't have all this constant electricity supply. So she expressed where is she going to keep it and all that. So it's always so challenging, even though we can do it. Because like I said, for example, when I was having my babies, we have a crash in the hospital. So I take my people with me to the hospital crash. And when I need to feed, I just go there, breastfeed baby, and go back to work. It's possible to do that as well. Or some people even go to a nearby crash, near the where they work. But we just say that you give them 6 month maternity leave, at least we know they can do that exclusive breastfeeding part. Then from 6 month babies, we'll start taking other complementary food. So mothers can still breastfeed when they're around, they can express, but at least they are not under so much pressure. So please sign our petition to get that going. All right. So let me take my time is going around. Let's just take some of the questions that's going on right now. So Chinaya is saying maternity leave is 3 months. Maternity leave is 3 months in some places, but in some places it's 6 months now. So I don't know where you are, Chinaya, but sign our petition. You also can, go to your employer and ask for it. So we are begging, we are asking, we know, because this thing is not just for the babies, it's not just for the mother, it is for all of us. It is for our entire country. So that is our own part. So for employers of labor, for government organization, it is part of your job to support us in reducing deaths by making sure we support our mothers to exclusively breastfeed. And I'm happy for those who are already doing it, and we are hoping more and more people will join us. All right, let me go to Instagram. Dara Queen say thank you for all that you do, man. I intend to breast my baby for 2 years, but 9 months. Maybe it's biting already. We getting a nipple should help. Thank you for that question. I know it's a common question. Once babies start having teeth, they start to breastfeed, and some of them, I mean, they start to bite on their mothers, and some of them actually don't do it intentionally. I know most mothers don't agree, but they don't actually do it intentionally. Most of the time, when babies are trying to bring out their teeth, they have that urge, that's tendency to bite on something, not necessarily the breast milk, not necessarily your nipple, but whatever is in their mouth, they'll bite on it. So I always say that during that process, you can give them something to bite on. And if your child bites you while breastfeeding, stop. You can stop. You can tell the child, you can pause the breastfeeding. I'm not saying stop breastfeeding, I'm saying pause at that point, let the child take a break, 1 or 2 minutes, and then you restart again. Most of them understand what has happened, like, okay, what I just did is not right. That's why mom stopped. And then you now start them again and they can breast. But if they bite more, then get them a teeter. It's the teething process itself that is making them to bite on you, because they want to bite on something. So if you give them a teeter to bite on, that will help them. And if you don't the teeter how, they are less likely to be biting you. All right. So you can do that. I'm not sure whether the nipple shoe will help you. You can give it a try if it does, but usually it's not something that should go on for a long time. It's just that period, when the teeth are about to come out, that's when they tend to have that difficulty. So that's not enough for reason for us to stop breastfeeding. All right. Taiwo Busaya said, I gave birth 2 months ago on exclusive breastfeeding, and after seeing my period, is it normal? Yeah, it can be normal. These things vary from one person to another. And I hope you said you are doing exclusive breastfeeding. When people tell me they are doing exclusive breastfeeding, I always like to ask. And when I say exclusive, because some mothers always just take breastfeeding and exclusive breastfeeding as interchangeably. They are not interchangeable. Exclusive breastfeeding means breast milk and breast milk only, nothing else. Okay, so I hope that's what you are doing, Taiwo. I want to believe that's what you're doing. But notwithstanding, some mothers will not see the period at all for a year or as long as they are breastfeeding, whereas some can do say so it's your body, your own body system, but it's not a problem. But please do family planning. Okay, do family planning. If not, you're going to get pregnant again. Because a lot of my mothers will say, which is okay, I didn't even mention that, which is another benefit of breastfeeding. When you're breastfeeding your babies, it's a form of contraceptive because we have what we call lactation and amenorrhea, and you will not be able to ovulate because the breast milk hormones, they suppress you producing another egg and having another baby so soon. And for some mothers, that's what they even do. Just have exclusive breastfeeding and they are protected against having another baby so soon, but it is not 100%. So I always say, mothers, please do additional contraceptive. It is not 100%. So you can get pregnant too, because some of you will not tell me that when I'm pregnant and my baby is 2 months. Please, that I don't like hearing that information, because I always tell mothers, pregnancy does not fall on you. I know it doesn't fall on you. You're not just walking and you fall pregnant and it fall on you. It is, there are certain criteria that must be met for somebody to be pregnant. You must be having sex and you are not protected, you are not having any form of protection against having any form of contraceptive. So that's the only criteria that will make you to have a baby. And some of us think, okay, because I'm breastfeeding, nothing will happen. Something can happen, no, please. And I'm still particular about that, even though that's not my message for today. But I'm particular about that because I also don't want you to have babies, too many babies too soon together. It's also not good for all this work we're doing. We don't want our babies dying. And we find out that babies that are born too close, together, those babies are at risk. The newborn, the new pregnancy, the baby is at risk. So we don't want that to happen. The mother too, you have not even recovered. You just had a 9 month pregnancy, you just went through hard labor, bring out a baby, you are still breastfeeding. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of toll on your body as a woman, honestly, and we really, really appreciate you for it. But please, take care of yourself. Don't get pregnant again so soon. At least space the babies by at least 2 years. So if you're first seeing your period, even if you don't see your period, make sure you are using contraceptives. That will help as well. All right. Um, Taiwo is asking, what can we do to lactate very well? Thank you. Like I said, the most important thing when it comes to breastfeeding and when it comes to lactation is the baby sucking on that breast. I see a lot of mothers, which is one of the main area parent mothers struggle with breastfeeding, is the fact that the milk is not coming out. Baby is not getting enough milk. I'm tired. Baby is always crying. Let me go and get a formula. And I always tell mothers, the baby is actually waiting for you. Some others say my milk is not flowing. So what do I do? Let me go and buy formula. No, your milk will not flow when your baby does not suck on the breast. So it is the baby sucking on the breast that will make the milk to flow. So breastfeeding is a demand and supply principle. That is what it works on. That's the economy of breastfeeding. If there's no demand for the breast milk, there'll be no production of breast milk. So as long as we are not putting enough demand on the breast, there will not be enough breast milk production. So please put the baby to the breast. Now, when we are putting the baby to the breast, attachments of the baby to the breast is 98% of the breastfeeding. This is where the problem always starts. Most of the time, I don't have a model here. Actually, I think I need to get one at one point. Most of us put the nipple in the mouth of the baby. That is not where the milk is. If you've seen my book on my course, I have a picture of the breast there. So breast milk is not all these. So that's why whether you're a size D or size A, it doesn't matter. We all have the same 20 milk dots, no matter how big your breast is. So you don't need to have a big breast to breastfeed your baby. You don't need to have, whether you're a small breast person or you're a big breast person, you can all breastfeed your baby, because it is not the fat and this muscle that is breastfeeding. It is the milk ducts that are in that breast milk, and those milk ducts, that's where the milk travels, and then they get stored where we call milk sinuses or milk bank. Those ones are around the areola. That areola, if you see the nipple jutting out, the black parts just be after the nipple, that's the areola. That is actually where the milk is. It is not on the nipple. The nipple is just the tap that it flows out through. but the milk is stored under the areola. That is where the milk sinuses are. So that is where you need to press. That is where the baby's mouth has to be for the milk to flow. So most mothers just, we just quickly put the baby to the breast. We don't, So when you want to put the baby to the breast, you need to make sure the mouth of the baby is open wide, and you make sure that all of the nipple and the areola are in the mouth of the babies. When the areola is in the mouth of the baby, you will barely see anything in your breast. You will barely see that black part of your breast because it is inside the mouth of the baby. It is so important we get that latching of the baby right. And then we need to cover our baby properly. So if your baby is sucking on the areola, the milk will flow. And like I said, you also need to relax, eat well, drink well. When you're breastfeeding, that's not the time to go on weight loss. Just leave that to when the baby has. I know a lot of others, we are so cautious to getting back our weight and all that. Because that we want to start fasting ourselves and using all the supplement. No, please don't start in that first 6 months. Just don't overeat, but eat normally, drink a lot of water, and make sure your baby is well attached to the breast. That is number one. Number two, make sure the baby keeps sucking. The more the baby suck, the more milk you produce, and the more the milk will flow. Okay, I know there are lots of people that say, "Oh, take these cookies, take these." I always say, "Mother, what if it works for you? Fine, try it, but please don't take palm wine, don't take alcohol." Okay, because alcohol can get into the breast milk and it can get to the baby. So please, no palm wine, no alcohol, anything alcoholic, no. All right, but if they tell you drink pap, drink milk, if you want to drink it, you are welcome to do it. If it helps, why not? But for me, the most important thing in making sure we lactate well is to start it within the first hour, is to make sure the baby is well attached, sucking on the areola, not the nipple, and is to make sure we breastfeed frequently. The more you breastfeed every 2-3 hours, the more the milk will flow. The more the milk will flow. If you start going to use formula, start using water, you are demanding the pressure on the breast milk production, and then the milk will not flow as well. So I hope that's helpful. But as I'm rounding up, I want to we have what we call breastfeeding videos that have been made by Global Health Media. So Global Health Media has made all these videos. They are available on our website, on our Facebook group. It's also available free on YouTube as well. Just look for breastfeeding videos, Global Health Media. Those videos are very lovely. We're going to pin them again to our Facebook group so that people can watch them all over again. It tells you how to start breastfeeding, how to increase your breast milk supply, how to deal with the breast pain, how to deal with nipple pain, how to deal with how to position your baby for breast, how to attach the baby to breast. All these practical stuff, they are available. We already have these videos, and these videos, they are available in all our languages: Yoruba, Hausa, English. So you can watch it in any language. And you can even download the app, Birth and Beyond app. You can download the app, and with that app, you can watch all those videos as well. So all these are available for us. We are here to support you. As if you need any support with breastfeeding, please call on us, call on ATP, call on us, ask on our Facebook group, watch our videos. I'm going to be here the whole of this week just talking breastfeeding, answering your question on breastfeeding. I'll still come back on Monday to do the Q&A session for those of you who may still have questions. Sorry, somebody's network is not so good, but you can always watch the recording. I will say asking, is there any food that breastfeeding mother should avoid or should not eat? There is no specific any food that you cannot eat, but if you notice that when you eat any particular food, your baby tends to be more fussy and all that, then you avoid it. But generally speaking, I would say avoid things that are strong flavored. All these our pepper soup flavor that we had, all these ginger, some of those things, they are good for you. You mothers like them, but sometimes they make babies fussy. So but if there's no particular list, but whatever it is that make your own baby fussy, you avoid. But actually, most of the colic is something babies have. It's not a food thing. Maybe most babies will have colic, and the good news is that they will outgrow it. By the time they're about 3 months or 4 months, colic will stop. All right, I'm going to stop here because I can see that my time is up. But if you have any questions still on breastfeeding, please go to Ask the Pediatric Facebook group, post your questions there, and we will answer them. I will be doing a Ask Me anything about breastfeeding again on Saturday on our Facebook group. On Monday, I'll be here again to answer question and answers on our ATP Live Monday. Boy, I'm happy to do all the breastfeeding questions again as well on that day. And like I said, make sure you go and watch all the breastfeeding videos. It's better to prepare for breastfeeding before you have the baby. Not when you've already had the baby and you're struggling. If you have prepared your mind, it's easier. And then also you can sign our petition. We are for you. We are for breastfeeding. We are all here to support you. But we can't do it alone. So we need the government, we need the president to make it a law that all mothers should be given 6 months maternity leave. So sign that petition and join us as well. Excuse me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again on Monday. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. My time is up.
Children. If yes, then listen to Ask the Pediatricians every Thursday by 10 a.m. for insightful discussion on popular child health topics such as dangerous child health practices, immunization, infant feeding, developmental milestones, and so much more. You also get to ask questions on these topics and listen to answers to real-life child health issues by a pediatrician. Ask the Pediatricians Foundation is devoted to health education and information of parents and caregivers of children in the community to support you in raising healthy children. Don't miss Ask the Pediatricians with Dr. Gami because it's informative, educative, and interactive. Ask the Pediatricians Hour, the program for caring parents.